Why do you fail every time you try to flirt with younger women? Because you're doing it all wrong. No matter how fat your wallet is, how much charm you have, or how well you handle other people. If you make these 7 mistakes, you can never be successful at flirting with women, especially the younger ones. So before you blow your chances with another beautiful woman, make sure you watch this video. Until the end, let's start with number 7, oversee compensating with money. There's a misconception that having money makes dating easy. But the truth is that rich men have it just as hard as those without money. You've spent years and decades building a successful life for yourself. And now when you see a younger woman, you want to buy her and her affections. This happens because you fall into the trap of thinking she's the prize. What do I have to offer you? Assume that money is your most important asset. So you go overboard with expensive gifts, fancy dinners, and use your connections to impress the young woman. But this approach backfires for 2 main reasons. First, it reinforces the impression that stoicism may be hurting your game. She's the prize, and you're just trying to impress her. Second, women sense when you're trying to buy their affection, and it comes off as repulsive. Imagine getting a few lavish gifts before you've even kissed. That's creepy, and signals that you expect something in return. So what is the alternative? The older men who are successful with many younger women never lead with money. They focus on their personality, humor, and shared experiences, which are their natural strengths. Instead of saying, "I'm doing this for you," they say, "I love this place and would love for you to join me," or have an extra ticket to this event. Do you want to come? This change makes a big difference. When you start with who you are and what you really enjoy, it shows confidence and authenticity. Your personality, not your wallet, becomes the main attraction. That's why the richest and most successful older men never feel the need to buy a woman's affection. They know that their personality will win her over. 6, making age an issue. Many older men make their age a focal point when flirting with younger women, either by making jokes about it or by expressing their insecurity. This behavior underlines your self-doubt and makes women feel uncomfortable. Age is just a number. What mistake number 1, overcompensating with detachment, matters is how you present yourself. Focus on common interests and mutual attraction, not the age difference. For example, you should never say, "I'm probably too old for this," or "I bet you think I'm ancient." Instead, talk about your passions and listen to her to find common ground. Beyond age 5, acting like her daddy at a stage where they're used to advising others. From time to time, older men sometimes switch from the romantic and equal role to that of parent or mentor and start giving advice to younger women. This may happen consciously or unconsciously, due to their natural inclination to protect and guide. While it's sometimes attractive if you help her with the things you've already faced in your life, it can come across as patronizing and controlling if you're flirting with her and suddenly thrust yourself into a fatherly role. It's also true that many younger women seek out older men to have a helping hand, to guide them through the ups and downs of life, because older men have already been through it. However, if you overdo it and see the younger woman as inferior and a child before you, it kills the romantic and flirtatious vibes and puts the mistake danger too. Overemphasizing your age younger woman off. You should understand that she wants a romantic relationship, even if she has a considerable age difference from you, and that she wants you to treat her as an equal and romantic partner, not as a student to be guided. So, Balance your advice with respect for her autonomy, and share your experiences with her, rather than instructing her for putting her on a pedestal. One of the biggest mistakes older men make when flirting is that they put younger women on a pedestal. If you treat her like she's out of your league because she's younger and attractive, you're giving her all the power. This behavior makes you look insecure and desperate. The reason for this is your mindset, because older men think they're too old for the young, energetic, and gorgeous younger women. They think that the younger woman has a lot to offer, from young energy to attractive looks, while the older man, on the other hand, has none of that. With this attitude, you think that you have to give it your all and offer everything you have. This also leads you to look up for the younger woman you're after, and the moment she realizes you're looking up to her, she'll mistake number 3. Outdated flirting techniques. Start looking down on you. What you need to understand is there are always equal things to offer in a relationship between a younger woman and an older man. She has an attractive body and good looks. While you've learned and far things about the world, you have an opinion that alone is something you can offer a woman that she won't get from guys her own age. Keeping this thing in mind, you need to flirt with her, slowly, maturely, and with that old charisma vibe that you naturally have. Don't be so desperate that you put her on a pedestal. 3. Failing to escalate. Now, we've talked about not acting like her mentor, but what if you started your relationships with her in the same friendly mentor and disciple role? Some older men who want to flirt with younger women often get stuck in this role. Picture this: you meet a younger woman. Maybe she's a junior co-worker, your D student, or someone you met at the gym. You strike up a conversation, give her advice, or help her out, and become her bestie. This is actually the most common situation in which older men come into contact and become friends with younger women. So it is fine at first, but there is a crucial change you need to make to avoid being pushed into this role forever. Here's the deal. If you keep giving her business advice or acting as mistake number 4, ignoring warmth and vulnerability, her mentor without shifting gears, you'll remain in the friend zone. Women value older men as good mentors and won't want to risk losing that support by taking things to a romantic level. So what do? You need to transition from being helpful to being flirtatious. If you start off by helping her, that's okay, but you must escalate. Move from friendly to flirty by making comments, giving compliments, or creating light physical contact. This shows that your interest isn't purely platonic, and you want to build a romantic connection to showering her with compliments. Flirting is an art, and like any art, it requires balance, nuance, and a deep understanding of human psychology. If you bombard a woman with compliments, they lose their value. Imagine hearing "you're beautiful" every few minutes. It may be flattering at first, but soon it will become repetitive and meaningless. Compliments about her life, career, and accomplishments should feel special, and only 1 or 2 that praise her looks and body should come at the right time. Instead of general praise, focus on something unique that you've noticed about her. For example, say something like, "Mistake number 5, not listening to her cues. I love how passionate you are about your work." Praising her efforts, and say you have beautiful eyes when complimenting her body and looks. Also, if you are constantly complimenting her, it creates a feeling of pressure and discomfort. She feels obligated to return the compliment or become suspicious of your intentions. It gives the impression that you're trying too hard, which will immediately put her off. 1. Overdoing physical contact. If you want to touch her physically, how would you do it? A light touch on her arm or shoulder while you tell a joke or say something romantic is the best way to start and test things out. The biggest mistake some older men make here is that they get desperate if you misjudge the timing or amount of touching. You'll come across as a creepy old man. This happens because you're nervous, overcompensating, and misreading her signals because you don't know if she's comfortable or not. Instead, you should start with light, non-intrusive touches, and pay attention to her reactions. Depending on how comfortable she feels, you can gradually increase the amount of touching and build a more physical connection. For example, you can lightly touch her arm or shoulder. While mistake number 6, flashy displays versus authenticity talking. And if she responds positively, you can do a light touch on her back. And if she still responds positively, and the two of you are in a private place, you can gradually increase the intimacy of the gestures. It is important to know that many older men take the younger woman to a private place on the very first date. This is not recommended at all, because it will ruin your image, and she will think that you only want to sleep with her without an emotional and long-term relationship. Choose a cafe, a park for couples, or a romantic restaurant for the first few dates. And when you feel that she's comfortable with you and allows physical touch, you can go to a private place for more intimate things.